I have to say, so I've recently been looking at the interactive whiteboards because this is a project we'd like to look at this with the project that we're funded on here at Oxford University Press. But what I have to say, a lot of the research has been in the UK, and it's driven by policy, and it's driven by a need to bring technology into the classroom to modernise. The research has been funded by the government, and it's really been just observing teachers' own practices, rather than looking at what are the affordances of the medium, and what are the features of the medium that make it particularly suitable for particular activities. And yeah, I don't think at the moment there's been any evidence for particular activities, but what I can say is it's very much being used in a presentational mode. So maybe it should be being used at the beginning of a lesson to gain the students' attention, to introduce new topics, new vocabulary, and then you should maybe switch off the whiteboard and then start collaborating around the table, actually using the language, rather than wasting time getting each individual student coming up to the board, where the interactivity is really quite limited. In terms of this interactivity, I have seen one study of the amount of interactivity between the teacher and the students. This was in a higher education situation. And really it suggested that the interactivity was limited to IRF sequences. So the teacher posing a question, there being a response from the teacher and from the student, and then there being feedback from the teacher, but it not going any further than that. So there not being there wouldn't be so much interaction between the actual students. If you're going to have interaction between the actual students, you want them maybe collaborating around laptops on the table rather than around the interactive whiteboard. One option maybe to get more interaction with the students and the interactive whiteboard would be to have, say, a carousel system, where you have some students working on paper-based activities or around laptops, and then one group of students coming up to the board and together talking about the language, moving things around on the board. But yeah, that's the only situation I can really see it being the students having a huge amount of interaction. On the other hand, we could see, if there's a really creative teacher, then who's good at managing dialogue between the students, then there may be more interaction with an interactive whiteboard, but I haven't seen that as yet in the research.